Hi, today we're going to make a mimic stone. We're going to actually make a stone just like this, but one that will go in the kiln to take up the spot so when the PMC shrinks it will stop. So let's go and start to make it. So I'm going to set this aside for now, just slightly there, and I'm going to use this 2-part mold compound. It is a cold set mold compound, and you need 2 equal parts. You don't need too much. What I do by rule of thumb is I get enough to make up the volume of the actual stone that I'm working with. So there's a little bit of the green, and here's a little bit of the white, and they have to be in equal parts. So you can see they don't have to be exact or weighed out, but they need to look almost exactly the same by volume. So there's the white and the green. If you're looking for a cold silicone mold compound 2-part, you can just look them up on the internet. They set fairly quickly. This one will set in about 15 minutes and will be fully cured in 24 hours, but we can already work with it even after 15 minutes. So I'm going to put both of them together, and I usually smash them out thin, like so, and then I marry them together and smash them into each other thin, and I put opposite sides together. You can see that there. And then I repeat several times until it starts to get nicely marbled. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mold of the stone. And if you have a regular stone, such as, let's see, I have one in here, such as this one here, you can see right here, this stone you can actually take and put straight into the mold face down. But in this case, because of the druzy, we're going to put this face up into the mold. So here's the mold material, all nice and done here. And I'm going to shape it in the shape of the stone before I press it in. Then once it's shaped in the shape of the stone, oh, by the way, notice I have a little bit of a hole in this stone. So I'm going to take a little bit of tape, and I'm going to tape with some painter's tape that hole shut. And it seems to be that there's a little bit of another hole in another area. So I'll take a little bit of painter's tape and I'll tape that hole shut as well. So just like that. And then I'm going to press this in nice and evenly, like so. And then I'm going to just shore up the sides so that the stone is cradled there. Don't let it go over, just go straight to the sides, and that's it. And then I'm going to let it set. Once it sets, we should come back and we should be able to put our fingernail in it, and no fingernail should be seen. So you can see one there, but once it's cured in about 15 minutes, we'll come back to it and it'll be nice and hard. Okay, it looks like our mold is done. You can see here that I'm not getting a fingernail impression anymore. There's the first one that I made when it was still not set. And so now you can see that I can easily pop this out and get it ready for the investment to be put into it. So we're going to use a couple of things here. You will need a toothpick, a mixing bowl, and I use this little guy, some distilled water, and I have a little jug of distilled water here, and the investment, which is this stuff here. Investment is a jeweler's grade, kind of like a plaster of Paris, but not really, but What this will do is it will withstand the heat of the kiln so that it doesn't just disintegrate or burn away. So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of investment. I'm going to just stick this in here and grab some investment, enough to make up that stone there. And then we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of the distilled water. We add a little distilled water a little bit at a time, and then we stir. You don't need much. And what you want to do is you want to mix it to like pancake batter consistency, a medium pancake batter, not a runny one. And you want to add a little bit of water at a time until you get to that consistency. And so you can see it's still kind of gritty, but don't add too much, don't be tempted to add too much water, because it will get really runny really fast. See that? So you don't want to add too much water all at once. If you add too much water, just add a little bit more investment. And you can see this one's not medium pancake batter thickness. It's too runny. But let me thoroughly stir it, and maybe it will get to that point. And it should be really smooth. You can see right now that it is. It's pretty darn smooth. And now it's the consistency where, see how it drips just very, very slowly. It doesn't run. So that's the right consistency there. And we're going to tap it to get some of the bubbles out. And then I'm going to bring my mold here, and I'm going to just pour it kind of from a high high level above the mold. That kind of stretches out the bubbles and pops them. And we're just going to fill it up to the line that the mold itself already made. And I'm just tapping it down to let the bubbles kind of come up. And then I'm going to set that aside probably for about another 15 to 20 minutes, let it harden, and then I'm going to dry it. And that's how you make your mimic stone. Okay, this has had enough time to dry. I put it in the dehydrator for a little bit. And if you just pull away the edges, it should pop right out. And so what I do, so I'm going to use it this way. This is going to be my front. Sometimes I will mark it front so I don't get confused. And so there you have it. This is your mimic stone. I'm going to put it on the hot plate to dry a little further, because before I use it, I want it to be really dry. And this will hold the spot for this stone to be placed after being fired.